Sad is the man who has asked for a story and can't come up with it. His 5-year-old son waits in his lap. Not the same story, Baba, a new one. The man rubs his chin, scratches his ear. In a room full of books, in a world of stories, he can recall not one, and soon he thinks the boy will give up on his father. Already the man lives far ahead. He sees the day as this boy will go. Don't go. Hear the alligator story, the angel story once more. You love the spider story. You laugh at the spider. Let me tell it. But the boy is packing his shirts. He is looking for his keys. Are you a god? The man screams. That I sit mute before you? Am I a god that I should never disappoint? But the boy is here. Please, Baba, a story is an emotional rather than a logical equation, an earthly rather than a heavenly one, which posits the boy's supplications and a father's love add up to silence.
If we use typefast to analyze this poem, then let's start with the title and anticipating the meaning. If I hear, a story, I'm going to think fairy tale immediately, just personally. But that also could mean, that the poem doesn't actually tell a story because, if Liang Li labeled his story a story, that's not very creative. So I'm going to go with that it isn't actually literally telling a story. P for paraphrase. What is it about? Well, if we look at it, there's a boy and his father, but the father is really struggling with not failing his son as his son grows up, moves on, and just this quick instance in their relationship. F for figurative devices. There's imagery here, the rubs, scratches, really creates a strong picture here with the father and his son both in the room, and then down in the last stanza, there's a comparison between emotional, logical, and earthly and heavenly. And that really accentuates the difference between the father and the son. Children can be considered more imaginative, and adults are considered to lose that imaginativeness as they grow up. A, attitude and tone. In line 6, the full of books in a world full of stories, it feels vast. It accentuates the father's desperation to come up with a good story for his son. And then down later in the stanza, when he's asking the boy to not leave, the tone is more frustrated and longing almost as he asks his son not to leave. S, shifts. This poem has a really big shift. The first 3 stanzas are, literally the father and his son, and the son asking him not to tell the same stories over and over again. But in the 4th stanza here, it shifts to the future almost, as the father imagines his son packing up, leaving in these 2 stanzas as he calls for him to come back. But then in the end, it shifts back to the son as a child asking for the story again. The next T is title again, and how has our perception of the title changed? If fairy tale really doesn't apply anymore, this poem isn't light and happy, it's quite melancholy almost. But the story does apply, because a story isn't real almost. It's not literal to the world. So this father's grasping at nothing as he constructs this story of his son leaving in the future. T, theme. What is the poem saying? In the end, this is just a representation of, Lee wanting to express a father's fear of failing his son, but also just dealing with children that grow up and parents that can't get over it or can't keep up with their children.